Okay, so if you're someone who believes in ghosts, or what we call ghosts, some people may describe them as souls that are trapped between the physical plane and the astral plane. I'm going to explain to you today how this happens. Why is it that some people, some souls, end up being caught and known as what we call ghosts? So, to illustrate this idea, I've got some very crinkled clothing, but forgive me, it should all make sense. So it's more complex than this, but I'm going to try and simplify it and strip away some of the aspects that aren't really needed so that you get a clear idea as to how this happens. So let's just say a 30-year-old man is driving along and has a car crash and is killed, sadly killed in this car crash. He's 30 years old. He's madly in love with what he considers the love of his life. They've just had a kid together. They've just got married. He's very attached to this lifestyle and specifically his partner. So when he passes away, his physical sheath, his physical body, because remember, this is just a vehicle. This is not who we are. This is just a vehicle. It's a layer of clothing to experience this physical realm. So when we die, or in this case, when this person dies, his physical sheath drops away. His physical sheath has died. And what would normally happen, what should happen, is his etheric sheath also drops away with it. And he will transition into his astral body. Now, the soul is much deeper. The soul is the thing that is experienced in all of these various bodies. But in the case of this gentleman, because of his strong, ever so strong attachment and love for this person, when his physical body passes away, normally physical body passes away, the etheric body, which contains all of the emotions and all of that, also falls away with it. And he would then travel up into the astral plane. I say up, everything's here and now. It's often perceived as up when we have any kind of experiences like that. But in his case, the physical body passed away, but his attachment and love meant that he didn't make that full transition. He didn't fully go to the astral plane. Part of himself, the emotions, the love, the attachment, remained. He didn't transition fully from physical to astral and found himself in the etheric plane, which is effectively where you're still here and now. You're not fully transitioned into the astral, but you're still obviously not in a body, a physical body, and you're existing then within the etheric body. Now, the etheric body is still dense, it's still matter, so it may take 400 or 500 years for this to fully perish and you to transition. Now, this person, this gentleman, he might follow her around, he might remain, he might linger around the house, he might be watching and following this lady because of his love for her, because of his attachment for her. He's not fully let go. And in this case, what would happen? You may be thinking, how does it end if someone gets caught in that place? If they're in the etheric plane, they've not transitioned fully from physical plane to astral plane. What happens? What's the mechanism that ends up transitioning? Well, at some stage they will have to transition. And it's been explained to me that there are what are known as helpers who will from time to time come and see this person and say, look, come on, it's time for you to move on. And sometimes because of their lack of understanding, their spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge, sometimes they won't, sometimes they will. But the helpers will come by and try to help people like that who still haven't made that full transition but really need to. If for some reason these beings, these souls, didn't decide to leave, at some stage as this etheric body begins to break down, which as I mentioned supposedly takes 400 or 500 or can take 400 or 500 years, at that point, which is a hell of a long time, they would then make the transition and move on with their life. And maybe, whether circumstances would allow them to come back together with their partner in the astral plane, if the partner doesn't live so long that this gentleman reincarnates in that time, then perhaps they will meet again at some point, but who knows. But that ultimately is how what we consider and call ghosts, and how sensitives can see these beings, is because they are in a somewhat dense form, not dense enough for us to perceive normally, but dense enough for some certain people with a specific vision, you could say, to be able to perceive. And that's why they end up in that space. Basically, it's down to their attachment. So hopefully that video has given you some interesting insight. If you're interested in learning more about spirituality, what I would call more direct spirituality, so learning about your purpose here, getting closer to the divine, gaining and learning tools like meditation, japa mantra, prayer, understanding more about how to weave this into your daily life and actually make good progress spiritually, beyond these kind of fun ideas, feel free to check out my online school. It's called the Inner Journey School. I'll leave a link in the description below. But failing that, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.